Hello, champions. Hello, champions. Listen to me ask you this question. Are you tired of being turned down at the table, at the negotiating table, and people just telling you no? Are you tired of spending a whole lot of time with people and they like string you out, like kind of like a real estate agent? You know how a real estate agent would take a person around and show them six and seven houses just at the end for the person just to say, well, that's all right. I'll do business with somebody else. Do you want to put yourself in a position where people are really committed to you and that you don't just waste a whole lot of time? And when you make an offer, that the offer actually gets accepted as opposed to being rejected over and over and over again? Well, today I'm going to show you, today's video, I'm going to show you how to alleviate that, how to wipe that out forever. I'm going to show you 3 ways on how to fix a bad offer so that people will stop rejecting you and you'll stop wasting your time, and so that you can make some money. And when you're spending your time during the work day to be talking to people, that is purposeful and that is effective and productive, and that you're not spending all night and day working just to come up with a whole lot of empty promises from people. I'm going to show you how to get out of that precarious position today. I'm going to show you how offers are made. I'm going to show you how we make offers and the psychology of it, and why we make a lot of money and not a little money. All right. So what's your question? I got Don, look up my videos. I'm a trust expert. That's one thing I do. But watch some of my videos. I got 1,000 videos, 2,000 videos on what I do for a living. So some of them videos up. Okay, today, the subject matter today, though, is how you can really, really, really up your offers. Make sure that people pay you attention. Stop making offers that don't work and get paid. Okay, so let's go to Genesis chapter 1. And let's get straight into it. All right. So let's see how God makes an offer and what he does to make sure that this offer is an absolutely irresistible offer. Okay. So in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. All right. So here's God. He creates the whole world, creates the whole earth. So he's basically making an offer. He's making an offer to create the earth. He's making himself an offer. Good morning, Michael. How are you? So he's making himself an offer. He's like, you know what? Let's make us a beautiful earth. This is before time began. Because there's a beginning, but God is before the beginning. That's why I love God. I like to deal with entities who know what's going on. That's why I love God. I don't know what's going on with this phone over here. Let me stop it and start it again. Okay. Let's discard that. Be patient, you all, so we can help everybody on Instagram over here so they don't get left behind. Okay. All right. Okay, so this entire world, but the world is void and without form. So God is like, I'm gonna make myself an offer. I'm just gonna create the whole world. All right out of nothing. See, God is an eternity. He doesn't live in time. So he created time from eternity. Now I know that might be a lot to wrap your mind around, but all of us have to admit we were all created by something, and that something that created us is absolutely positively. It's got to be a spirit, because it created us as spiritual people and then wrapped us up in some flesh. So whatever created us, whoever created us, it's got to be a spiritual being, whatever created us. And, so the Bible says, in the beginning, in the beginning, from out of eternity, God created time. Out of eternity, he created the earth. From out of eternity, he just spoke in from out of eternity and said, let's create world for people to dwell in. But before he started creating people to dwell in the world, he made himself an offer. He said, let me just create a world. And he making this offer to himself. He said, but even God, the God of heaven and earth, he made an offer, and immediately he had to start doing what? Adjusting his offer. He first of all, he make an offer to himself. Why? Because ain't nobody else around. Are you hearing me? The Bible say, when God could find no greater to swear by, he just swore by himself. Why? He's like, man, I'm just having a good time. He said, let me just create a whole world from out of nothing. Why? He said, because I got it like that. Are you hearing me? And if I was you, I would get with who got it like that. That's why I worship God, because God got it like that. God is so huge and so large. So he just decided I'm gonna make myself an offer, you know? And then I say, you know what, I'm gonna follow the pattern of God when it comes down to how I make my offers. Because why? Because I'm created in the image of God, and so are you. So if you want to have an offer that's going to work, it makes sense to follow God's pattern to make offers. Are you hearing what I'm saying? God's pattern. Everybody put GP in the chat so I can make sure you're keeping up. All right. GP, that means God's pattern. If you're going to do something, then do it after God's pattern if you want to have God's results. If you want to have God's results and you want to make sure that you are amazingly successful, then just use God's pattern. All right, y'all got it? Come on, hurry up, hurry up. Come on, y'all need to move fast. Y'all be moving too slow. All right, God's pattern, GP. All right, GP. So let's use God's pattern. Let's not be using our own pattern. That stuff don't work. Let's just cheat. Let's just go straight to the source. All right? So watch God's pattern by how he does this. So he makes the heaven and he makes the earth. He ain't made the heavens or nothing yet. He just made the earth. All right. He says, but the earth was out. But okay, let me read it to you again. All right. So it says, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. He says, and the earth was without form. You could say, but the earth was without form and void, because that's a problem. Okay. So he making an offer, but he's got a problem that's got to be solved. All right. And God bless you, Paul from Africa. God has a problem that he's got to solve. You say God ain't got no problems. God solves problems all the time. Are you hearing me? God creates problems and then he solves them. See, that's what offers are. An offer is to create a problem and then a solution to the problem. That's what an offer is. So when God created the whole world, created earth, he created a problem. All right. But then he said, that's okay. He said, because I'm the God that create problems and I'm the God that solve problems, because I'm the God of adjustment. All right. All right. So he's the God of adjustment. So the first thing about creating an offer is that you know that the offer is going to have to be adjusted. You know, as soon as when you make an offer, you know that. So you don't trip about the fact that something has to be adjusted. This is a big problem with people that people won't wrap their minds around. They like, I made something and it's a finished product. I'm like, that's not how it works. You think about marriages. When God give you a wife or give you a husband, he never give you a finished product. Every time he give you put somebody in your life, he's putting somebody in your life, and it's going to have to take some major adjustments to bring out the best in that person. And that's the case with human beings. So when you make an offer, it's going to take what? It's going to have to take major adjustments to bring the best of that offer out. And that's going to take you the rest of your life. See, making offers is a lifetime thing. It's not a temporary thing. It's not a 5-minute thing. I just make an offer and I just now, bam, I'm going to get rich. Why? Because your initial offer is bad. It's not good. Why? Why? Let me show you why. He said, because when God created the heavens and the earth, first thing he said was what? He says, the earth was without form and it was void. What does that mean? What does the word void mean? Let me read the word void to you. Void means not valid or legally binding. Void means completely empty, dark, completely empty. So when you make your offers initially, when a person makes an offer, this is God who's making an offer to himself. So when you make your initial offer to people, typically it's going to have a lot of emptiness to it. Why? Because you don't really know what people need until you start meeting people and getting with people. And when you make an offer initially, you're going to have to do some adjustment to it, because why? It's going to have some emptiness. The reason people don't buy an offer, I'm trying to tell you, because you're like, man, ain't nothing wrong with my office, Brother Ricky. My office ain't empty. Well, how many people are buying it? Okay. Are people buying it at a frenetic pace? I mean, are people lined up around the corner to buy something from you? Okay. Well, if that's not the case, then that means that when they look at your offer, they feel empty. They see it as being not valid. Okay. It looks good to you. It looks good to the person who created it, because everything we do look good to us. It's just like somebody walk by and say, that's my little baby I just made. Ain't she cute? And you'd be like, praise the Lord for that pacifier. You don't want to say nothing bad, right? You like little Jotty. It's not cute. I'm being silly. Laugh, all right? I'm being silly. All babies are cute. All right? All babies are cute, right? All babies. What's my point? My point is that everybody, the Bible says this about people. The Bible says every way of man is right in his own eyes. See, the problem is that you got to get your eyes off of something in order to be right. Because everywhere you let me tell it, you let you tell it, all of our stuff is fire. But the problem with that is that you know a tree by its fruit, and you know that your offer is good because people buying it. If they ain't buying it, then it's not good. You say, "Oh no, it's just Ricky. My offer is great. It's just that people they don't understand greatness when they see it. They just don't appreciate the way I be dropping it like it's hot." I'm like, you can sit there and be delusional all you want, man. The proof is in the pudding. If people ain't buying nothing from you, it's because it's void. In other words, when they see it, it brings about darkness. When they see it, they don't understand what they can get out of it. And the only thing a person is concerned about when you offer them something is what they can get out of it, not what you can get out of it. That's it. So that means they have to clearly see, man, this is in my best interest. They have to clearly see, I'm going to benefit from this. They have to clearly see, this is for me. And if a person is not convinced of that or is not persuaded by that, then they're going to refuse your offer. And it's okay for your initial offer to breed confusion and to leave a person feeling void. It's all right because it simply means it just needs to be adjusted. This is where people mess up at. Most people, this is the problem with most human beings, why they can't have no money. Most people are embarrassed by the idea of somebody telling them what they don't like. I'm like, the best thing that could possibly happen to me and you is somebody tell us what they don't like. That's the best thing that can happen. See, because we got a problem with this word people call criticism. But it's not criticism. It just means that this is what I don't like about what you're doing, or this is what I don't agree with about what you're doing, or this is my opinion about how you can do what you're doing better. People who don't have no money are extremely defensive. And so they're offended real easy. So because they're defensive and easily offended, they end up living and dying broke because people that got money, we are not offended easily. The reason we're not offended is because bring it on. Tell me how I can adjust this thing. Because if I don't adjust this thing, it's got people walking around feeling void, feeling empty. And nobody's spending their money with you when you walk up into a room and they feel emptier than they felt before you came. Ain't nobody gonna do business with you. Why? Because they like, man, I don't see the benefit in that. I don't see how that's gonna benefit me. And I see people, they bring me offers on a regular basis. And I'm like, that offer ain't got nothing to do with me. That offer got everything to do with you. Okay. So I'm not buying it. Okay. I'm not buying it. I'm not interested. It's void. It's giving me the cooties when you talk because I don't see nowhere. All I see is you in there. So this is what God did. He said, let me see. He said, I'm going to create this whole entire world. He said, the entire universe. I'm going to create everything. He said, but let me start out what? Adjusting things. But you can't adjust things that you don't measure. All right. So the way to get rid of an offer that's not working is, first of all, make it. Okay. Let's go back to that. Okay. Because most people won't even make an offer because they're too worried about the offer being scrutinized, too worried about what people are going to say, too worried about whether or not somebody's going to buy it. So they don't make an offer in the first place. So that's the first problem. First, the worst offer in the world is the offer that ain't never been made. Why? Because how in the world are you going to measure something that hasn't been made? See, God is the only person that can measure. See what I said? Why? Look what he told. Look how he measured. Watch how he measures the earth here. Let's finish reading this. He says, so he made it so the earth was void and without form. He said, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. He said, so I don't have anything to measure because everything is dark and void. So the Spirit of the Lord came upon the face of the waters. And the Lord said, let there be light. And there was light. See, you can't measure anything until there's some light. So God, he can measure nothing. So he brought some light in on nothing. So now that things can start being measured. And that's the first time that he said something was good. He said, and God saw the light. He said that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. What he measured the light from the darkness. So the first thing that God does with his own offer is that he takes it, he looks at it, and then he measures it. So he's telling us to do the same thing, right? So you say, so how do I, he said, Brother Ricky, how do I measure? What do you mean by that? What I'm saying is that you you need to have what you call a third party audit when you do things. You say, what does that mean? That means that me, myself personally, I can't really see the breadth of what it is that I'm offering people. So why? Because I look at it the way I look at it, from the inside out. But people who are unbiased, they come and look at what you're doing from the outside in. So that means that you need to have somebody who can come in and bring some light into your situation. In other words, they say, you know what, this is somebody naturally who has some experience in making offers, who know how to make offers right. So they come in and they say, listen, this is where I would tweak this. This is how, and you got to stop that thing about, man, about me. These people are like putting me down, or putting down my offer. No, that's not it. What it is that they bring some light to your situation because you have blind spots and you just can't see. So God didn't even measure the earth until he brought some light into the darkness. Because why? Ain't nothing measurable until there's some light on it. Are you hearing what I'm saying? And then once some light comes into something, now you can start measuring things. I gave you some examples of what I'm talking about. So we do a lot of YouTube videos. My company does, as you know, because I'm live so much, 2-3 times a week for years. So we said, so how can we make our videos? How can we make? Who's that? How can we make our videos?
Nice pest control.
All right.
Sorry, didn't mean to scare you.
Well, the fire guys did yesterday, so somebody's in that room, but all these other rooms are cool.
Okay, gotcha. And it was roaches you were having issues with?
Yeah, it was something. They had some kind of bugs crawling around here. Shantae, you got a pest control guy. All right. Everybody just be busting in on the lives all the time. All right.
Hey, I'll make sure to get on a free range.
And handle your business, man. Because Shantae be the one that be running around, scared to death. All right. So we were talking about how when somebody else looks at your offer, then you have to resist the idea of being defensive against the person looking at it because you can't see it from your vantage point. But you can make a lot of money when you just voluntarily say, hey, can you tell me from your viewpoint what this looks like? Because I'm having problems. I'm not making money. I'm putting this out here, but ain't nobody buying it. And obviously it seems like I must need some adjustments. But I don't know what I'm doing. See, that'll make you rich. Are you hearing me? Because that's humility. And if you're going to be rich, you got to be humble. Okay, if you're gonna have some money, you got to be adjustable. If you're gonna have some money, you just got to admit that something just ain't working. And like, you know what? It ain't working. And I tried everything I can to make it work, and it's probably not going to work on my own. So let me go ahead and just let me. If I was you, and I really want to make some money, not only would I have my offers scrutinized, but I would pay people to do it. You hear me? Instead of having because this is the problem with people. People want to make money, but they want to get their advice from people who don't do what it is that what they're not good at. So if you're going to on this online business is big business. This is multi-millions of dollars. So to get wealthy, I would not take it. I would not take nothing for granted. I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna scrutinize what's going on here because I'm sure it's a way of doing this better. I'm sure it's a way of adjusting what I'm doing. I'm sure somebody knows something that I don't know. So I'm not that naive to think that I just got it together. Even if the offer is starting to make some sense, even if it's starting to get good, because your good offer based on what you're currently doing is bad based on what somebody else is doing. And that's why adjustments are always necessary, meaning that whatever you're doing currently, even if it's doing okay, it could be doing a whole lot better. And that's the challenge of a businessman and a businesswoman. Hey, what am I doing what is it that I don't even know that I don't know? All right. You see, it's called black swans. The black swan, until the 1600s, nobody knew that there was a such thing as a black swan. And if you ever read the book, Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, if you ever read his book, then he talks about things that they found out. He worked for the FBI as the top hostage negotiator. So he had to always adjust his offers with people because he was saving people, literally saving people's lives, keeping people from being murdered, killed, raped, robbed, pillaged, kidnapped, tortured. I mean, this dude was a very important dude. He worked for the FBI for 20 years, and he was the #1 hostage negotiator. And he said, "Man, we found out so many things when we were dealing with these different hostage situations. That was the first time we ever saw it." He said, "So we had to learn how to adjust the way that we was doing things because we thought we had it going on." He said, "But then we find out scenarios that had never happened before. So before that scenario, we could never know how to even respond to that thing because it had never happened." So, for example, he tells one story about how this guy came in to stick up this bank. Well, he didn't stick up the bank. He just went to the bank to take some hostages. But before he took the hostages, the dude, this dude, thank you, sir. Have a great day as well. We appreciate you. Thanks for getting the bugs out of here. All right. So, hey, it is what it is. He knocking on the door talking about pest control. What I'm supposed to do? Try to fake like ain't no pest dude coming. It is what it is. Just get rid of the whatever crawling around here. We ain't got no problem with that. All right. Ain't no hardy cats around here. We keep it real deal Holyfield over there. All right. So Chris Voss, going back to Chris Voss. Chris he said that this guy got up and he had an argument. This dude shot his own mother, did he? And his stepdad, his stepdaddy. I mean, this dude is lost it, you dig? And probably was one of them timeout kids, that'd be sitting in the crib, building bombs and stuff in the crib. Eat me, ma, you can freaking eat me. Probably one of these cats, crazy as hell, right? Because they'd be tied up in a room, anybody whooped his butt. You dig what I'm saying? Anybody checked his behind since he was little. So he crazy as hell, man. He went around with the shotguns and stuff, and he just shot his own parents, shot a couple of neighbors, and then went down into the local bank and took a whole bunch of hostages. You dig? So he tells the people, I want to shoot out. So Chris Voss and them get on the phone with the dude. And they like, "What you want, player?" He like, "Man, I want to have a shootout with the police." They like, "A shootout with the police?" He like, "Yeah." So they're like, "Oh, he tripping, ain't it?" He just saying some stuff like that. What you really want, man? You want some cocaine, You want what you want? You want 35 chicks up on a roof before the night's over, because most of the cats, they always are trying to get some money or some dope or something. You dig, or something. Sometimes that was everybody's modus operatus up until this point. Nobody really wanted to have no shootout with the police. I mean, what the hell, So they thinking he just tripping. So he says, "I want to shoot out with the police," and he said, "I want it at 3:00. So he had written they had been talking to him on the phone and stuff, but they thought he was just tripping. So he told this one young lady, he said, "You head on up to the front." She was like the manager or something for the bank. And she said, "But I got 2 kids, because she was afraid for her life because this dude crazy, right? She got a good reason to be afraid for her life." So he gets up to the front, and when the girl gets by the door, this guy shot the woman. He shot her so hard with the shotgun until she just kind of went through the door. So now the FBI like, "What the hell?" They're like, "This dude." And then he leaned out right in front of he just opened up the curtain and leaned his head out, not outside, but into the curtain. Clear vision of the SWAT dudes that he had been shooting it out with, and they shot him in the head, because he wanted to die at 3:00. That's what he really wanted to do. But nobody had ever done that before and really meant it. So it was called a black swan. A black swan is when you don't even know what you don't know. So if you're really serious about making money, and if you're really serious about life, and you're really serious about being productive, you have to put yourself in a position where you let somebody else see. They have been all listening to this call with the dude, but nobody was listening, because when they played his phone calls back, he said he wanted to have a shootout, but nobody believed it. But if everybody had been listening in intently, then they would have found out that, yeah, this dude is serious about this. So let's send him a message back and say, "Okay, stick your head up at 3:00. We're going to gladly blow your brains out there." And they could have saved this woman's life, but they didn't know. They did not know. And what you don't know, it'll kill you. What you don't know. So that this attitude, this smug attitude that we take, like we've arrived at something, or like our stuff can't be investigated or tweaked or changed or adjusted. and that we couldn't do something better is sheer delirium. All right, because unless the offer is making millions of dollars, then it's it can be changed. And if it ain't making no money, it's just straight up bad. So I'm talking to you today about how to fix your bad offer. And the way to fix it, the first thing to do is make one. Don't be trying to, don't be so worried about it not being good that you don't make it, because that's the worst offer in the world, the one that you don't make. All right. And then secondly, as soon as you make it though, it's gotta be measured. But you ain't the one that's gonna measure your offer. Your offer gonna have to be measured by somebody who can look at it more objectively than you can look at it, because you don't look at things right from the inside out. Nobody does. And until you open yourself up and allow people to look at your offer, you're not going to have the best offer you can get, or it's not going to be as effective as it could be if you don't open people up and let them see what it is that you're doing. So, I have for example, I was telling y'all about YouTube here. So YouTube is an amazing money, literally money machine. YouTube is. YouTube can make you a billionaire. I mean, an average everyday Joe like me and you, who ain't come up, no stardom, from the hood, ain't got no money. Me and you, regular cats like me and you, regular people like me and you can get rich off of YouTube alone. So matter of fact, I'm gonna talk a lot about this in my class that's coming up. If you all haven't registered for my free class, I'm about to teach in a few minutes, in a half an hour. You all are welcome to come on over, and it's free. You don't have to pay me. If you're on YouTube, just go to the top and look up where it says how to 10x your sales online. Just look up there, and if you're on Instagram, it's on my homepage. So just click it. All right, or you can just DM sales, and it just automatically send it to you. So we're about to start in a half an hour. But YouTube here is a great tool to be able to make offers on. Okay, in other words, what do you mean by that? Because people see what you're all about, while you're talking on YouTube and they're looking at your videos and stuff. But there's always a better way of doing something. So you say, Rick, so we've already made $6 million over the last couple of years. You say already. To me, that ain't no money, but it's way better than the $50 I had when I was dead broke and in a hotel room. Much better than a sharp stick in the eye. All right, so it's a start. So, but it can be so much better, and I know it could be better. But I don't know how it could be better. But I know that it could be a whole lot better, but I don't necessarily know how to do it. So what I do, I met this guy named Brendan Kane when I was at one of our VIP sessions with my friend Myron Golden. And he came up to our suite and he started talking. And he was showing up how your videos ought to go, and how the headlines should go, and how your thumbnail should be, and then how you can create a format for video, different things like that. In other words, how to make your offer a whole lot better. And I was like, okay. So I signed up for his class. So I brought my whole team to listen to his class. And we've been in his class for 3 or 4 weeks now. This might be the 5th week or something like that. So we have a class once a week. I highly recommend his class, by the way, for anybody who want to learn how to make videos that have the potential of going viral. I highly recommend his class. So he's telling us how to do things totally different from the way that we do it. Now, we've had a measure of success, but compared to people getting 20 million views and 25 million views and 30 million views, compared to those people, our offers are bad. So this is what I'm teaching y'all today. I'm teaching you how to fix a bad offer. And what I'm telling you is that it's okay, even if your offer is making you some money, if it could be making you 1 million times more money, then it's bad compared to where it could be. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to say, you know what? My offer right now is mediocre compared to what it could be. See, in life, you always got to be comparing yourself, measuring yourself. Are you hearing me? Because I'm telling you, the Bible says that every way a man is right in his own eyes. So you always have to take a measuring rod out to measure things, but always measure yourself from the perspective of who's doing it better. All right? Don't never measure yourself from the perspective of who's doing it worse or who's not doing it at all. That's what I'm amazed at. I'm amazed at people who get their measurements from a person who got a little bitty measuring rod, they number 6 inches long. I'm like, but how are we going to let them measure what you're doing? I got a suspicion that the reason that people do it is because people hate for a person to tell them to stop doing what they're doing and do something different. I believe people just love to hear a person tell them, hey, you killing it, man. God bless you. Keep going on. Let me send a I think we tripping. I think our minds are messed up. We like to see them little heart things all the time. And we like to see people sending likes out all the time and stuff like that. But that's very expensive. That's extremely expensive because people are liking what ain't working. So I don't know. If I was you, I would not be concerned about people liking what ain't working and then what amen my stuff that ain't working because it's bad. I'm like, well, that's not good. That's not that offering. You ain't making no money. So why in the world would you be happy about not making money? And then happy because somebody make you feel good about not making money. I mean, why be verified by somebody else that's poor or somebody else that's broke or who ain't even got no ideas? Why not get verified by the person who's got doing it at a higher level so that what? Now you got to adjust what you're doing and stretch. You see, that's how you change. That's two ways. That's two things to do to change a bad offer. So let's review what we were saying because the pest man came in and got a little confusing. So let's review what we said. The first thing is that God created the heavens and created the earth, not the heavens yet, but created the earth. So he made himself an offer just to create the whole universe. God did. So he decides that, but we got an adjustment that needs to be made. All right. The first adjustment is that the earth is void and without form. So God says, okay, let me bring some light in, and that way I can measure the darkness from the light, because you can't measure stuff that ain't got no light. So that's why you bring somebody else in to shed some light on what you're doing, because you can't measure it until some light is shed. Light is the best thing that could possibly happen to me and you. See, sometimes we run away from the thing that's in our own best interest, because Jesus said it like this. He said, light is coming to the world. He said, but men love darkness rather because their deeds are evil. He said, neither will they come to the light lest their deeds should be reproved. So that's the way it is when you're making an offer. See, when you're making an offer, you want the light to come into your offer. And then you don't run from the light, you run to the light. But the reason that people don't like the light to come in is because they don't want their deeds to be reproved, which is so counterproductive. Why wouldn't you want your deeds to be reproved when you're making an offer? Why wouldn't you want to improve the offer? So if you run away from the light, when the person brings the light in to help improve your offer, then that means that that the offer is going to get worse. And sometimes the company is going to become non-existent because of the resistance to light. Are you hearing me? Who in their right mind would resist light? Obviously, a person is not in their right mind. So that's why the Bible says, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. In other words, don't be resistant to light. What? Insist on the light. Did you hear what I said? Don't resist the light. Insist on the light, which means that you constantly putting yourself in places where you will listen to somebody who's doing something at a better level or a higher level and let them shed some light in on what's going on with you. And in most cases, pay for it. All right. You said, see, that's a disconnect with people. They say, why in the world would I do that? You're doing good already, Rick. You're doing good. I'm like, doing good based on what standard? All right. Not based on I want to make $30 million for the year's over with. So that means something got to change, right? Right? Put right in the chat, right? Is that right? I said, is that right? Put right in the chat if that's right. Something got to change, right? Is that right? Put right in the chat, okay? Because I want you to think about yourself. You halfway through the year, how much money have you made? Okay? What you want to see happen for the rest of the year, I'm sure is way better than what you've done so far this year. So that means that something got to change, right? Okay, so put right in the chat, because you're putting right in the chat, not for me, you put right in the chat for you. Something got to change, right? Is that right? Okay, I'm taking my time drinking my water. Y'all tell me whether that's right or not. Y'all tell me, because I ain't come over here to talk to myself. Is that right? All right. Okay, that's right, Barbara. All right. Is that right, Michael? Okay, is that right, Eddie? Okay. All right. That's right. That's right, Harold. All right. See, what you're doing is that you're admitting that, you know what? I need a change. That's what you're admitting. What you're admitting is that I need some light put in on the way I'm doing my offers. All right. What you're saying is that I'm not going to run away from the light. I'm going to run towards the light. So anybody else say that's right. Okay. When you say that's right, all you're doing is agreeing to some light coming into your situation. Or are you just cool with being void and in the dark? Because when you're void and in the dark, then that's the way everybody else feel when they come around you. They feel void. They feel like something is dark. And people are not moving in the dark because people can't see. Are you hearing me? When you can't see something, you grope around in the dark. You don't move freely. So that's why it has to be some light brought in on your presentation, because your presentation currently can stand to have more light put on it. I don't care how good it is, and especially if it's bad. And most people's presentations are not good. Most people's presentations are bad. Most people ain't got money. All right. Most people do not have money because most people are not going to allow somebody else to come in and shed some light on what's going on with them. They act like they already all right. I'm like, you ain't all right because you ain't got the light. All right. That presentation is not good. That presentation is bad. And what you do is that you go around and let somebody else who's doing some bad presentations amen your bad presentation and make you feel good. And you can't, and so you got a bad offer, and it gets worse because now you got a bad offer and you smug on top of it. But humble people, we not smug. That's why we grow so much. You say you just call yourself humble, Ricky? Yeah, I'm humble for real, player. I ain't no joke. I ain't 10x my income. I 60x my income. Why? Because I do like I'm told. I'm not no hard-headed man. All right. People come in and they give me a better way of doing it, and then I do it. I paid what, $30,000 for this class. I mean, the class that we're taking for YouTube. Why? And I told my whole team to come so they can learn things too. Why? Because I'm one person. You know, if I die, I don't want the whole business. It's not if, but when I die, I don't want the whole business to go, to stop. So they need to understand things too. So my daughter can take over and be the CEO. So Shantae can keep teaching her what to do, and we can have a family dynasty and empire that never runs out. So I invite everybody to the class so they can see what's going on, so that they can be able to know how to make offers, how to make a really good offer, how to present themselves in the marketplace, because I'm a mere mortal, and my number can get called any day. That's up to God. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you got to be improving on a regular basis and totally non-resistant to improvement, and pay for it. Why? Because when you pay for it, you get it from the best. When you don't pay for it, you can learn a lot of things without paying for it. Like some of you all listen to, I've got a good friend here right now, tripled his income, listening to us talking without paying me nothing. Just listening to, just like some of y'all, you just listen to free videos and you can make some money. You can make a lot of money. But if you really want to get rich and you really want to have some money, pay people to show you how to have a better offer. I don't know what's wrong with this phone. Why I keep going out like this? Let me try it again. All right, maybe it's because I'm supposed to just be on YouTube. Maybe that's telling me something, because all this switching back and forth and stuff. I'm just trying to be nice because I know some people on Instagram, but you all gonna have to get used to switching over to YouTube, because I ain't gonna keep doing this stuff. Having those two phones on and all this stuff. So start getting used to the idea of being on YouTube. And all of you all should really blow up YouTube. That's what y'all really should be on. Y'all should really, really, really blow up YouTube. You should blow it up, because YouTube has algorithms. If you come to my class in a few minutes, I'll teach you about what I'm talking about with these algorithms and how they put you in front of people with plenty of money, will spend plenty of money with you, and you just sitting at the crib making videos, getting rich. All right. So I'm gonna talk about that in my class in a little bit, coming up in 20 minutes. All right. So let's review again what we was talking about. Number one, God created the earth, but it was void. So he said, okay, I created an offer. He said, let me adjust this. Let me measure this offer so I can adjust this offer. So if you're going to be wealthy, just do like God. All right. GP. All right. All right. Get like God. Do the same thing that God does, and you'll make a lot of money, because God is a good example to follow. The way he makes offers makes a whole lot of sense. So if he can adjust his offer, then we can adjust ours too. All right. Meaning that, you know what? He got way more sense than I got. So he's all into measuring things. God is into measuring things. Are you hearing me? Let me show you what he told Job. because Job's friends came in talking real crazy to Job, and Job was just depressed because his homies coming in and they trying to make him, feel like it ain't no God, like he must be, he something wrong with him because he having trouble. You know how people are. You know how people are. They're so judgmental. You having some trouble, and they coming in telling you you're a devil. Just like good things don't happen to bad people. You know what I'm saying? Like bad things don't happen to good people. Bad things happen to everybody. Okay, and so everybody has to adjust in life. That's the way life is. People, all kind of stuff happen to people. Don't make no difference whether you the nicest person in the world or whether you're the meanest, rottennest devil in the world. Bad things happen to everybody. I was when I be on my knees in the morning praying, I'd be thanking God for everybody that went before us. So I'd be thanking him for my mother who passed away. I'd be thanking him for my two brothers on both sides of my family. But yeah, two brothers on both sides of my family. From my father's side, with his former family, and us. Two of them passed away. My sister, two sisters on both sides passed away. Nephews and all that. So when I wake up in the morning, I get on my knees and I thank God for all these people that came into my life and went out of my life that I had the privilege of being around, realizing my mortality, and just being grateful for being alive today and realizing that things can change. My little sister Tisha, I jogged, ate good, and she catches cancer, and it was bad. It wasn't good, she suffered. And for the last 2 years of her life, we were pretty much around her day and night. And she was 45 when she passed away. And she was our youngest sister in our whole family. And when I think about it, it's still heartbreaking. But I'm like, Lord, it's your life. You give and you take and you do what you want to do. It's your life. I cannot explain nothing about, man. I understand because I do not understand. I'm like, man, Tisha, that's a raw deal. 45 years old, get sick like that, don't even smoke, drink, get high, nothing. And I'm like, that could have been me. But she ain't no different. I ain't no better than she was. So I believe that every day we ought to be adjusting. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be around here tomorrow. And we need to be building systems so that the system will keep running when we're gone. That's how I view life. That's what I be trying to encourage you all to do, because that's why I teach you posterity. I'm like, stop thinking about you and start thinking about, man, you ain't gonna be around it forever. Okay? Sober up, adjust, measure what it is that you're doing on a regular basis, and don't settle for nothing, because it can always get better. And if it's bad, you can start turning it and being good, but that's okay. What ain't okay is not to make offers. That's what's not okay. And what ain't okay is to make an offer and then refuse to measure it and adjust it. All right. That's all I'm talking to you about today. Just 3 things: make an offer, measure it, and adjust it. See how watch how he tells Job. He said, Job, let me tell you something, brother. You all right? He says, who is it? This guy talking to Job. He said, who is it that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? He said, who over here talking crazy? Job. He said, gird up now thy loins like a man. He said, because I'm a demand of thee. He said, answer thou me. He said, I got a question for you, Job. Matter of fact, he said, I got a series of questions for you. He said, what was thou when I laid the foundations of the earth? He said, declare if thou understand it, if thou hast understand. He said, tell me, Job, where was you when I laid the foundations of the earth? He said, who hath laid the measures thereof? If thou knowest, or who hath stretched the line upon it? Man, God is like, look, he said, you tell me who done measured the earth, Job. Outside of me. But he's letting Job know that, yes, I have measured the earth. That my offering that I made, it has what? Measurements. It has limits to it. It has boundaries to it. He said, I know where the east is from the west. He said, don't nobody else know that, Job. Nobody else other than me. They don't know where the east and the west. They don't know where it stops. He said, but I do. All right. He said, I know where the water, I know how much water it is above the clouds, because God made the heavens, then he made the earth. Then when he made the heavens, he made water up under the earth, and then he made water above the earth. But then he said, let me do what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a sky in between, so that the sky in between it, and I'm just gonna hold the waters up above the sky, and I'll put a water up here, a sky right here, and I'll put the earth right here, and put water up under it. He said, and I measured all of that. All right. He said, I measured the water up here, I measured the water down here. I'm the one that decides when the water up here is going to penetrate through the clouds and come down here and water up the earth, or in one case, wipe out the entire earth. But God is like, I'm a God of measurements. All right. So he's teaching us a lesson. He's teaching us that everything that we do, it needs to be consistently measured. Okay. Consistently measured and looked at, tweaked, and adjusted. That's how you turn a bad offer into a good offer, because you're like, I'm going to take the same attitude God got. If God is God is omnipotent, meaning that he's always creating, always create. He's not just omnipotent everywhere at the same time. He's omnipotent, meaning that he's always creating. And that's the way creative people are. We were made in God's image to always be creating. And the fact of the matter is that we are always creating because we have that by default. We were made in his image. We don't have no choice but to create. The question becomes, create what? What are we creating? Because some people creating havoc as we speak. Some people wake up in the morning and can't go to sleep at night, the Bible say, until what? They done tricked off and did something to help ruin somebody's life. That's what the Bible says. Some people can't get no rest. They wake up in the middle of the night to act a fool. Like last night, in this complex where we at, somebody was hollering in the middle of the night. I'm over here. I was sleeping good. I was tired last night, sleeping good. And somebody at 1, 2 in the morning, just ignorant, rude, loud as all outdoors, just I'm in the middle. I'm like, what? Breaking a person's breaking the person. I can't wait to get back to the crib. I can't wait to get back to the crib, to my joint where it's quiet. ain't nobody. I'm out of here today, going back to the crib where ain't nobody making all that loud noise around me and stuff like that. I can't stand it. I get messed up. My sleep get all broken up and stuff like that. I get messed up, man. If you're gonna be a healthy individual, get your rest. Okay, get your rest. Have your peace. Don't let nobody be invading your peace at night. Make some money so you can move out of complex and get someplace where you can get some rest all night long. I just can't take it. I had to go through this foolishness every day, man. I would not be on here talking to y'all. I'd be someplace in a rehab somewhere trying to get my body back right. So God said, where was you at when I laid the foundation of the earth, Joe? Where were you at when I was doing line upon line and precept upon precept? That's the way you do offers. You do offers by constantly measuring them and then just having the same attitude that God has. If God can measure things, then we should measure things. We should take the same attitude, the same temperament, same disposition that he had. And then finally, open yourself up, okay? Open yourself up to some scrutiny. Open yourself up to, open yourself up to instruction, okay? And remember, it's not criticism. People call it that. People call it criticism, but it's not. If I don't agree with you, I'm not criticizing you. If you don't agree with me, you're not criticizing me, okay? That's such a small way of thinking. It's really a demonic way of thinking. And it's been taught to us through the school systems to teach us how to be poor, to teach us how to be subservient. It's like, look, man, every man for himself. Don't be collaborating with folk. Don't have people all up in your business. Don't, and it makes you very extremely, combative with people, So when a person starts talking to you, if it ain't what you're used to hearing, then you just automatically get defensive, But it's ain't no way in the world an offer could ever get better with a defensive person. No way. Small-minded people, you can't. It just doesn't make sense. It does not work. What does work is the willingness to let somebody come in and look at your stuff. It's just like all your books and your finances and all of that. You have to have somebody who is totally unbiased to look at your estate and say, okay, here where your holes are. All right, so this is how I would plug those up. And you say, okay, I appreciate that. As opposed to only getting advice from people who are in your inner circle, only getting advice from people, especially who are subordinates, especially who are not qualified, because that's not what they're good at. No, how are you going to get some qualified advice from an unqualified person? How are you going to get some advice from a person who that's not even a field? And I'm talking about they're not real good at it too. I mean, Only get people that are real good at things. I'm kind of teaching y'all a little bit about some of the stuff I'm going to teach in a few minutes. Okay. So for those of y'all who haven't been to class, I'm about to show y'all how to 10x your money online. And I'm qualified to do it because I 60x my income online. So I can definitely show you how to get to 10 times your income online. Plus, I've taught other people how to do the same thing. So we're about to have a class in a few minutes here. Let me get off of here so I can get my throat together for that. So I love you all. You all have a beautiful day. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you're interested in coming to my class, we're about to start in a few minutes, and it's called How to 10x your income online, like your offline income, how to 10 times that online. So if you're on YouTube, it's at the top of my page. If you're on Instagram, you could just DM sales, and the class will just pop up, and you can register for it. But we're about to start right now. God bless you. I love you all. Have a great, wonderful, phenomenal day. I want y'all to pray for my friend named Kevin. Yeah, we've been friends since we was 9 years old, and his mother passed away, and she was like a mother to me. And I'm going, and we're gonna bury her tomorrow. So y'all pray for my friend. His name is Kevin, and pray for me. We've been friends since we was 9 years old. I love his mother. Loved his mother. Loved his mother. Where I love my own mother. So love you all. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your beautiful day. I won't be talking to you tomorrow because we'll be down. I'll be checking on my friend. Okay. Hopefully we'll talk to you before the weekend is up. Everybody have a beautiful day. Love you, love you, love you. God bless you. Those of y'all that's coming to class, I'll see you in a second. Okay. Take care.